Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Unknown Destination, the podcast about anything and everything travel. I am Justin, that is Andrew, and it is that time. We are only 6 days away from Christmas. Can you believe it?
I I can't honestly. It seems like the whole year just went so slow until we hit summer, and then I think from July until now feels like about a week.
Yeah, it's insane that we've gone this far, and it's weird because 2020, like, it dragged on, but it went fast at the same time. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I think from myself being furloughed since March, that those first maybe 3 or 4 months felt like it was just dragged out, and then all of a sudden everything went zoom zoom, and here we are rounding out this wonderful year.
Yeah, that's kind of I am too. So, let's try to start off this week with a little bit more positive news. We're coming into the holidays, and I think that's something that's important to do. And there's some really big news coming out of the United States right now that as of Tuesday, Donald Trump, the current president, is expected to sign an executive order lifting the United Kingdom travel ban.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's we had talked about that a couple episodes ago about the new things that were the UK was being put in place. So I'm glad that we are partnering and kind of pushing that through.
Yeah, so at this point, it looks like most UK travelers will be able to travel to the United States. Restrictions are still a little bit tighter in the UK after an announcement yesterday, strictly because they do have a new strain of the virus that they're having a little bit of trouble keeping under control. Uh, it's one direction in the right direction, I guess, but we'll see how it plays out. But as of now, for the travel industry, that's definitely good news.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I think anything that is shown in a positive light is kind of what's needed right now when it comes to the travel world.
Definitely.
Well, I will just jump into one of the articles that I found interesting here. I know that we had talked about different aircrafts kind of being retired, and you had mentioned on our last episode, I believe, about being able to fly on one of the last flight for one of those old boys that was going to be retired next year, but was out this year. I just wanted to continue on that trend because it looks like Boeing 747, that was one that was supposed to be uh, retiring probably next year or even the year after, and that retirement was pushed to this month instead of
Wow.
next year. So even if you don't know anything about aviation or I guess yeah, flying in general or aircraft, you know what a 747. You've heard of a
Right.
747. That's so at those 747 400s from airlines all over the world. So this isn't just in the U.S. This is everywhere. So those are being pushed into retirement this year, and it says that it was originally due for a 2024 removal. Um,
Wow.
so this is a 4 year in advance retirement for them. But they said that the effects of the travel downturn that we all saw this year just kind of pushed them to do that earlier.
Wow. That's crazy news. Something else I just want to touch on really quick that's in regards. I know we've had some technical issues in the past episodes for those of you that watched on YouTube that Andrew was green. And as you can see, we have figured that out. Now he is just back to his normal colorful self.
Yeah, and actually, since this was extremely hard to troubleshoot, I just want to kind of give the quick fix for anybody that is doing Zoom calls for businesses or anything. And if you end up noticing that, it's actually a memory issue with
Yep.
Zoom. So it will turn other people green to save your own memory. So you can try resizing the window down. You can also try unplugging the monitor and restarting the computer because it could just be that you need a hard restart. But yeah, this took us weeks to figure out and
Yeah.
troubleshoot. So I wanted to put that out there because this was not something just Googleable that we could normally fix. So pretty excited that I'm not green anymore.
Yeah, definitely exciting there that people can actually see you. When you were green, your face just kind of blended into the rest, and you were basically a
Yeah,
blob.
yeah. I
So,
mean, I've been called the Grinch before, but geez, for months being the Grinch. Ugh.
so yeah, that was a little off topic, but if we jump back into travel, just one more little thing that's definitely holiday related. As of right now, it's expected that 84 million Americans are expected to travel over the winter holidays. And that travel really began this past Friday when TSA did screen over 1 million passengers in one day. That did happen back at Thanksgiving, but that definitely shows that there's an uptick in travel yet again. Again, whether that's good or bad, we will see. But the vaccines are here. FDA did approve Moderna's vaccine as well. So there's two vaccines available. A lot of healthcare workers have already received them here in the States. So I think we're definitely going in a positive direction.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of emphasize how important that is that a second uh, maker of the vaccine, because they were going to be pretty much identical. This is just another vaccine to do the same thing. Um, that has been approved because they were talking about not being able to get it to the general public until summer of next year. And even if we can cut that off by a few months, I think it'll be huge.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm definitely happy to hear about it. And hopefully we see things kind of pick up from here. What
Yeah.
else do you have today?
I've got actually some other kind of good news or potentially good news. There is a new airline launching in South Africa that is this month. It's for low cost domestic travel to the country's 50 million plus inhabitants. Um, People were kind of on the fence about if this was going to work right now because of everything that's been going on, but they thought that this would be a good time to launch. So, the company's name is Lyft. It's got a fleet of A320s, and it's offering flights between Cape Town, Johannesburg, and coastal city of George
Okay.
as of last week. So, the airline has already, I guess, experienced some disruption in service as a new airline would, but that's going to.
Andrew, are you there? Can you hear me? Yeah, I absolutely cannot hear you guys. I don't know exactly what's going on, and I'm trying to unmute him. Nothing's happening. I can see that he's stopping it. I did. You know what? What? Wow. Yeah, guys, I'm not really sure what happened there. It seems like Andrew dropped off for some reason. But yeah, hi there.
Oh, how are you doing today,
Uh,
little boy?
Are you who I think you are?
If by who you think I am, you mean Santa, I sure am.
I believe you. So, this is a huge surprise. Thank you for being here. Why'd Andrew get cut off, though? Do you know why he disappeared?
I've got a feeling he might be on the naughty list this year.
That actually makes a lot of sense. After our last episode, I can see how that would happen. So,
Yeah, I did catch that one. He seemed quite the naughty lad.
wait, you're a fan?
Just tuned in. Just started learning about you guys. But I really love the travel news, so I know where to go.
Well, that's great. I'm a little worried about you hearing things because I'm a little afraid we might not be getting presents at Christmas anymore.
You're definitely not.
But I'm glad to have you here. First of all, I mean, it's crazy that you're here right now. Isn't this one of your busiest times of the year?
Yeah, but I have a lot of elves, and I'm mostly just the middleman. Just kind of directing traffic at this point. We got the plans in place for the whole year. Just I'm more of trying to just figure out where I want my route to be, how I want to deliver the presents. Because normally I go with the time, makes a lot of sense, but this year I think I might spice it up.
Okay, well that's definitely interesting. You know, something I've always wondered, as travel agents, we know a lot about flight plans and airlines having to register with like the FAA here in America. Do you have to do that?
No, because most people don't believe in me, and that's why they don't get presents. But as long as you believe, I'll keep jumping down those chimneys. So luckily, the government doesn't think I'm real.
That
No taxes.
that's that's great. Maybe I need to be a mythical but real being that lives somewhere that nobody goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can apply for this position. It's more like something you're born into.
Uh, I watched this movie a few years ago with Tim Allen, like when I was growing up, and I heard that all I had to do was knock you off a roof, and then I could take your job. Is that true?
Next question.
I'm gonna take
Don't
that
do
as
that.
I'm gonna
Don't
take that as a
try.
yes.
The last
Th-
man who tried is on the naughty list forever.
And now I think I may know where Andrew went. Um,
Ho ho ho.
oh boy. Coming up to this point of the year, what's the most important thing that you have to deal with before you take your flight on Christmas Eve?
I think just getting ready to spread so much cheer. A lot of people really just can't handle so much cheer being put into their body at one time. So you get the caroling going, you get the reindeer, you get the sleigh bells. Those sleigh bells when they're ringing. Oh, I love seeing Mrs. Claus just light up, even if she turned my hat pink. It's you gotta love her.
I was gonna say, it looks like you're wearing how'd your hat end up pink? How does color come out of your hat?
Oh, she threw it in with the whites, and it was you don't mix colors and whites. She's been doing this for 1,000 years. I don't know how this happened this time, but 2020 has been crazy for everyone.
Speaking of that, I heard that you are immune to coronavirus. How lucky are you with that?
Yeah, I'm immune to pretty much all ailments as I am a mythical being. That I don't really get the cold. I've got to stay on track, keep on schedule. I think I'm born into this great immune system.
That's absolutely wonderful for you. Kind of depressing for the rest of us. I mean,
Oh,
you're
don't worry, the cheer's coming.
you're Santa. Can't you just get the Pfizer vaccine and put it in all our stockings?
No, no, no. I mostly deal with toys.
That explains a lot of things on my list never coming to.
Yep. I've received many lists, mostly inappropriate from you. But I have tried to bring what I can. Unfortunately, mail order brides are not one of them.
That was not my list. I think you have me confused with Andrew.
Yep, yep, you're right. Just double checking it. What that was, Andrew. I had to pull out the naughty list. It's quite lengthy. It's getting longer and longer each year. I'm a little bit worried for everyone.
I think we all kind of are. During your off time, do you like to travel?
I do, but mostly I like to stay where it's warm since I'm frozen for most of the year. I like to travel to. I like the islands because I kind of have to go where I'm not noticed. Some people have probably seen me. Man, look, somebody's grandpa's here. He's got such a big beard. Why is he here on the beach? Well, we like the beach too. Usually I have to leave Mrs. Claus, unfortunately, just because we're as a pair we're too recognizable, but it's definitely not for any other reasons.
I think the big thing there is, do you travel on commercial airlines?
Um, no. Normally I'll just take a reindeer and just mosey on to wherever I'd like to go. The only problem with that is I mostly have to travel at night and watch for those aircraft that are flying through. But yeah, I figure it's probably not a great idea to show favoritism into any particular airline.
Have you had any near misses with an aircraft?
Yes, actually, those punks over at United just don't understand to not be flying around Christmas time. I can't even tell you, almost ruined Christmas of '97. I tell you what, they are real close to one of their regional carriers, and I'm pretty sure that those pilots will never be the same.
Wow. So one of the big things that those aircraft have to deal with are bird strikes with birds going into their engines. Do you ever have issues with birds flying and distracting your reindeer?
No, the reindeer are pretty good. I was able to take the blinders off of them a couple thousand years ago. But yeah, they had to wear them for quite a while because they would get distracted at everything. I mean, just a star glistening, me humming Rudolph the Red. He's not even my favorite, but there's a song. So sometimes I try to avoid that one if I can, but it makes the other reindeer jealous.
So Rudolph does exist. He wasn't just something that was added by commercial America.
Oh no, it's funny that when that happens, I just get random things. He just popped out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I had another reindeer.
So
I
you're
don't know.
saying you're saying that commercial specials and holiday movies made here in America cause you to have things that just come into being?
Yeah, it's at first it was pretty overwhelming. Just from being a pretty relaxed gig for a long time, and then all of a sudden, as consumerism took over the world, all of a sudden I started acquiring new things like different size of elves, and all of a sudden I had a really tall, stupid one. Who just loved Chris. He bless his heart, but man, is he dumb. He's just the worst elf ever. But yeah, Rudolph just came out of nowhere. Donner and Blitzen are just hanging out, and all of a sudden they're like, "Who's this guy?" They did make fun of him. I mean, he came out of nowhere. I had to put a stop to the bullying, but yeah,
That
so he's the leader.
the tall elf you mentioned, is that an elf that's actually human? Kind of might wear yellow tights.
We can't go too much into it. His name's Buddy. If you've ever heard of him, but we we don't really allow him around too much because he just tends to break everything, and he's more of a spokesperson, you'd say, for the North Pole.
Okay. I'm a little shocked right now. I kind of don't know how to react to all this information. I just why are you here? Why did you decide to come on this podcast?
Oh, I just wanted to keep everybody's spirits up. I know that the 2020 has been just the worst for so many, and affecting the children. I really wanted to show them, give them a little bit of Christmas spirit before the big day, and to let them all know that I'm still going to be coming around the mountains, uh, to grandmother's house. All those good stories. I will not run her over with my reindeer, though.
That's good to know.
One time, and they make a song about it. Sticks for the ages.
Oh boy. So, one of the traditions that basically everybody has for you is leaving out cookies and milk at Christmas. But I think I've kind of always wondered, is that what you really enjoy, or do you have a preference? Like, would you prefer to have some Jack Daniels left out, or is
I'm
that
gonna be
dangerous while
whoa, whoa,
flying?
whoa. Where there will be no eggnog while driving. Cookies are pretty great. I am starting to gain quite a bit of poundage. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to my exercise routine. Um, maybe not so many cookies. Maybe like one or two. I'm delivering to millions of children, and I can only consume so many millions of cookies a night. So,
That makes sense.
and maybe not milk. It's by the time I get to some of your houses, the milk is warm. It's starting to sour. Maybe just a glass of water to wash down that really dry cookie.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. I'm trying to think of what other questions I have for you. Obviously, our podcast is travel based, so I'm trying to think of things that affect you. But it seems like there's not really much because you just kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah, yep, that's pretty accurate. The winter storms. I mean, I welcome the challenge. It's been so many years since I've had a good winter blast while I'm trying to deliver presents. The last one I remember is just trying to hold on to my bag of toys, my overflowing bag of toys in one of the winter storms. But everything's been pretty chill, as the kids would say lately. No cap.
Wow. So
We're up with the youngsters.
I guess the other thing that I want to ask about is starting on Christmas Eve at midnight, we are going to be hosting a Santa tracker on our channel. I know in the past you've always partnered with NORAD, and it'll be their Santa tracker that we are using on our live stream here on the Unknown Destination YouTube channel. So can you just tell me a little bit more about how that affects you? I mean, I know the NORAD partnership was something that you kind of started, and do you like children knowing where you are at all times, or does it make it more difficult for you?
Yeah, so this many people don't know this, but there is actually a delay put in place so that I am never actually caught by children. The tracker is 100% accurate. It's just that the time is just a little bit off, just enough so that I can sneak in and sneak out before people know that I'm really there.
So if children are watching the tracker, in theory, by the time they see you above their house, their presents are already there and you're already gone.
Yes, most of the time. More than likely, I've already been at their house, so they go down and they go, oh, I just missed him. And I'm like, oh, got him again. Maybe next year, children. I'm like that little Trix rabbit who also exists.
So over the last few years, another thing that's become very common are videos online of people catching you in the act. Um, I want to ask how many of those are real.
Um, none. I always take the evidence. There are nothing. Those are mostly just posers that really want to hog the limelight, have their 15 minutes of fame, as they call it. But no, the few people that have actually caught me on one of your recording devices, can usually be talked down to. I can kind of get the evidence from them by just putting them on the nice list for another 10 years. It's mostly blackmail.
Okay, that's terrifying a little bit.
Oh, well, we can't have my secret coming out. This is the first podcast that I've done. But
That is true.
as you can see, it's just we're already set here. We got the Christmas tree, which is lit year round with magic. It's always snowing here at this exact level, so it's just very pleasant.
That seems really nice. We haven't had snow here yet where I live, and I kind of want it. Missouri can be a little sad at Christmas, but I guess not as sad as California.
Yeah, Missouri is a pretty sad place. Agreed. Oh, just a little Santa humor.
So, I don't want to keep you too long. I mean, obviously, you have a lot of other things that you need to do to prepare. Maybe actually, you don't look like you do, but
Oh no, I'm pretty much ready to go. But this has been a great time.
well,
I'm so glad I stopped by.
is there anything else you'd like to tell the people that are listening or watching? Hopefully they're watching this on YouTube, because this is one of the only times you're going to get to see Santa on camera, apparently, because apparently
Yes.
everything else is fake. This is the
Yep.
real Santa,
Fake news, as they
100%
call it.
authentic.
Fake news, as they call it these days. Oh, Mrs. Claus will love that.
I'm so tempted to get political here and ask you about certain people being on the naughty list, but I digress. I will not do that and put you in a
Oh
weird
no,
position.
I'm only going to tell you that Andrew's on the naughty list this year.
You know, we had a guest on last episode, Jess. She had been a room service server. Can you reveal if she's on the naughty or nice list?
Let's just say she's not on the naughty list.
Okay. I, Jess, I hope you're hearing that. It sounds like you may have some work to do. But
Oh yes. She may have to partner up with Buddy the Elf and put in some time at the old at the workshop.
wow. So I guess the only other thing that I have to say is, do you have anything that you want to tell everybody that's watching right now?
I want to say that I hope the rest of your year is merry and bright, and that everybody can go into 2021 with a little bit more love in their heart, and that we spread the cheer year round instead of just for this month to celebrate me. Um, I really want people to get back to their roots of building friendships that last eternities. And I
Wow.
wish everyone Merry Christmas and have the happiest of holidays.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I know you probably have to go, and honestly, I would say at this point, the best thing for you to do is probably rest up, because you're going to be up for a long time in a few days.
Oh, you're not wrong about that one.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Santa. And
Thank you.
if you have any way to help Andrew come back, if you could ring those magic bells or do something to make that happen, I would be the most appreciative.
I'll see what I can do for you.
All right, everybody. Well, that was an amazing surprise. I did not expect to have the big man here, especially a few days before Christmas. It looks like Andrew's trying to get back on. I can see.
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, all right. Let me play around with this for a second. I heard you talking about a big man coming in. What happened while I was gone?
Well, Santa was here.
Yeah, good one. Good one.
I am
Yeah,
dead.
you're telling me that I miss Santa. That's
You know, it sounded like he intended you to miss him. He was talking a lot about how you disappeared off the call because you were on the naughty list.
ah um
Yeah,
you
it's more
know
believable now, isn't it?
you know ah, that man. I'm sorry, Santa. Please put me back on the night.
You guys, I can tell that Andrew doesn't believe me, so he is going to be mind blown when he watches this back and sees that Santa was actually here and he was not here for it.
I'm gonna be so sad. There's no way that actually happened. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that to me. We've been through it. He wouldn't
Well,
put me on the naughty list.
I believe you've been through it, but yeah. Anyway, let's, first of all, obviously, from both of us here at Unknown Destination, we do want to wish you guys a very happy holiday season, no matter if you're celebrating Christmas or any other of the holidays this time of year. It's a time of year to feel happy and joyful and cheerful. And that's something that a lot of people haven't been able to experience for the majority of 2020. So that's something that we definitely wish for you guys. And we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here. For all of you that have subscribed and like our videos, it means a lot to us. This is something we talked about for, oh man, what, 2 years before it
Years.
actually came into fruition. And it's something we've enjoyed doing. So we appreciate you guys and we hope you have a great holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just jumping back in, we'll jump back into just the last couple things that we have here for you guys on this episode. Um, a little bit out of the commercial world, but the U.S. Air Force is testing artificial intelligence on a spy plane. This I found this very interesting,
That is
and
interesting.
I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into what that really meant. It seems like they're kind of trying to push towards wanting a single pilot and then AI on board with that pilot instead of being forced to have two pilots on every single flight. Obviously, on a commercial level, this is huge because if they can make commercial flights able to have one pilot plus AI, that's gonna open up a lot of new routes for the airlines
Yeah.
to do. Now this is just in its beta testing, if you were, its first testings. But it looks like everything is still it's working as they intended it to be at this point. It's not as sharp as they want it to be, obviously, with this being the first test. But yeah, the Air Force Chief of Staff, General Charles Q. Brown Jr., went on record saying that in order to fight and win in future conflicts with adversaries of similar warfare and technological experience, there must be a digital edge. So obviously, with us being in a digital age, makes perfect sense of why we're trying to get AI up to the point where, Terminator happens. I mean, we can protect ourselves. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's another great thing, even if, say, you still have two pilots, but that AI is there and it's able to perform life saving maneuvers that the pilots weren't able to come up with because we're humans working under stress and under pressure. Sometimes we don't necessarily come up with the right answer right away. If it's able to save lives, that's something that's going to be huge in the future.
Yeah, especially when it comes down to, I think about the Max planes.
Yeah.
Just that if it was something that an AI could have potentially fixed because of it not having the human error or not needing the human training aspect of it, whereas those two pilots could have been doing something else while that was kind of fixing the problem.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the whole Miracle on the Hudson situation. Obviously, anytime there's a plane crash here in America, the NTSB goes out, investigates it, and they use a flight simulator to create every different situation that could have happened. And from what I understand, in that situation, none of those flight simulators were able to mimic what Captain Sully did.
Hmm.
uh, there was one situation, I think, where they were able to get the plane back up, but most of them ended with passengers dying. So obviously, Captain Sullenberger is still big hero for what he did. He saved, hundreds of lives by thinking fast. But it would be great to have that extra failsafe there in case you don't have as seasoned of a pilot on board.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's and not even just that, but being able to make these not as seasoned pilots more comfortable with
Yeah.
their flights, take a little bit off of them.
Yeah. So something we brought up in previous episodes, and I'm only going to touch on it for a second, but Airbnb went public and released their IPO. As of now, the original day they were expected to release their stock price, it was around like $67, and when they opened, they were at 144.71. That stock price as of today is up to 157.30. So Airbnb is still saying great return from going public. Uh,
Mhm.
we'll see where that goes from here. I'm really curious to see if they really go successful from there, because you may see a change in the travel industry and see more people leaning towards vacation rentals than hotels.
Yeah, it because I think that's probably going to be a popular trend, at least for next year when people start traveling. Like you're saying, that's I would probably feel more comfortable going into renting a house for a 2 week getaway than being in a hotel for 2 weeks, just on a pure, health level. I don't
Yeah,
see how you could be more safe than that. It's basically like you're quarantining yourself on vacation in a way. So
yeah.
you're minimizing risk.
Especially when you're talking about like beach rentals and things like that, where you have your own private pool and jacuzzi in the back of the house and things like that. You just, that's a way people are still being able to travel right now. If you're going into a house that nobody's been in a couple weeks and nobody's going to be there for a couple weeks, I don't see how you can really be any safer.
Yeah, exactly. And you're still able to get away and, enjoy the weather if that's why you're traveling. Cause a lot of people do that this time of year. They try to, they flee the north to get to those like warm beaches in the south. So, yeah, it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. I do like that they are still on the upward trend.
Yeah. So, from positive news to terrifying news. So, we were just talking about how safe Airbnbs could be. Obviously, that's not always the case, but I digress on that. This is about Australia, and currently there are massive amounts of sea foam in Australia. So, you'd think no big deal, right? Except for there's massive amounts of snakes under that sea foam.
Uh, what I need to know more. What kind of snakes? How many of them? What is the span of this sea foam?
So what they are saying is that a lot of severe storms in the area of New South Wales and Queensland, Australia, have caused massive amounts of sea foam to wash up onto the beaches. But with that sea foam, it has actually included sea snakes that have washed up onto the beaches. Health wise, they're advising it's not great to let kids play in the sea foam anyway, and they're terrified of marine creatures getting into it because there is that risk of sea snakes. And these snakes do contain venom that would need urgent medical attention, so their bites could be fatal.
Of course they could be. That's it. Why? Like there aren't enough things in Australia to terrify us. It's oh yeah, now you got to stay away from the beaches because there might be snakes hiding in the foam. Like what? What?
Yeah, it's crazy that this is the thing. The what kind of led to this story was a different story that was originally published by a news station actually here in St. Louis.
Oh,
And it's a dramatic video that shows a woman rescuing a dog that disappeared under the sea foam. So this sea foam is so bad that if you're walking on the beaches and stuff, it's tall enough that you could literally lose your dog in it.
yeah. I was gonna say that's got to be pretty tall. It's got to at least be 3 feet off the ground, probably.
Yeah, and this was just because a camera crew in Queensland captured the dramatic rescue in Brisbane, and then it was released here in St. Louis. I don't know why that's the main source on this. Is the CBS affiliate in St. Louis is the one that's referenced, but it was originally a news station on Australia, so I guess they're sister stations or something.
Weird.
Media's weird. But yeah, it happened right as a meteorologist was actually about to go on air, and a frantic dog owner jumped in to rescue the pet on camera right behind where the meteorologist was about to film and do a story about the seafoam.
Oh Lord, yeah. Oh man, I love my dog, but I think I would just. No, you need to come back out. Come on, girl. I'm not coming in that. But then
Right.
again, if you don't know snakes are in there to begin with, you're probably just going in so your dog doesn't like just run away. So you
Yeah.
get in there, you get 3 feet down, you put your head down in it. All of a sudden, there's snakes. Oh, ooh,
Thinking to yourself, it's just sea foam, although, there's a reason the sea foams, and the thought of how foam forms is
Ye-
all I can
yeah.
think about is that there's some fish pee up in that foam.
Oh gosh, I didn't even go there, but now I've went there.
You've gone there. Um, So one other thing I want to touch about in the US that doesn't necessarily affect travel, but is definitely affecting people this holiday season is the delays from the postal service.
Oh, God.
So yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I kind of have a side hobby as a reseller. I have some packages that I shipped priority, so it's priority 3-day mail. It's supposed to be delivered within 3 days on November 24th. They are still at the regional facility, in this case in Virginia, and they've been there for 3 weeks. Uh, on the another thing, I have a package that was mailed to me on December 11th. I should have received it on the 14th. It just made it to St. Louis from Wisconsin today, so only 2 states away. It sat in the distribution center in Wisconsin for 4 full days. The reason for this is that because of COVID, they're definitely seeing staffing issues with people that are having to quarantine, and then on top of that, there's 30% increase in people mailing packages because they're not traveling this season. You add that, and then you say, well, there's FedEx and UPS. Those are two of the people that are dealing with delivering the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
Yeah, I ordered something local here. It's about an hour drive away. So I could have just went and picked it up. Ordered and shipped on the 7th of December and I have not gotten it yet.
Yeah.
So this is a 1 hour transit from my house to the seller's house. And it is now 2 weeks later, and it still says it is waiting to be shipped out of the place that it was originally sent or dropped off at. So, and for them being understaffed, shame on you, Postal Service, because as a furloughed employee, I was looking for the holiday work and they were not hiring. So this is completely on them for they're using the excuse of increased load plus COVID affecting their staffing issues. Well, you've known about COVID the entire year. You should have had the foresight to see that a lot of people would be mailing packages instead this year. So why did you not just beef up the hiring? You know how many people are looking for work.
And
And they always do seasonal.
I hate to say this, but it does come down to being a political issue. Obviously, DeJoy took over the post office in the US this year, and we've seen a lot of budget cuts since then. We've seen machines taken out. As a reseller, I've always found the Postal Service to be most of the time actually pretty reliable. Uh, this year is definitely an exception to that, and I think a lot of that is because funding was taken away, and honestly, they need more money as it is. The Postal Service was forced into a bill years ago that forced them to pay out pensions for people like 80 years in advance, and it basically destroyed them. So it is a political issue in the US. It's something that needs to be taken care of on a government level for funding. But as of this point, basically what I'm telling you is even if you're going to ship it priority express and try to get it there the next day, if you're sending something now and you're in the US, it's not going to get there before Christmas.
Oh no, 0% chance because mine was shipped priority for with
Yeah.
1 day, and it's been over 2.5 weeks. And it's like I said, this isn't going states to states. It's not going across the country. It's going 1 hour north of where it was being sold from.
Yeah.
So a little bit ridiculous.
Okay. Well,
I've actually got a little bit something on Marriott. They're going to be offering pre-event COVID tests. So
oh,
they're trying to get the kind of reviving business meetings and business events to get people to kind of be using these services again. So they're going to be offering these optional pre-event COVID tests. So I think that's pretty
cool.
smart. It'll get people to feel more safe about going to business events again, maybe start actually hosting them again, get some of these huge events that didn't take place this year, maybe hopefully get them going for next year.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Um, I think we see a lot of positive things coming. Vaccines are obviously going to make a huge difference in the travel industry.
Yep.
I'm honestly hoping that we can get some videos of some sort of travel, like us experiencing what some of the changes are like on the airlines sometime early next year. If I'm being totally honest, I'm keeping hope up that those $46 round trip tickets to Denver stick around and I can take that flight just to go see what different hotels and stuff are doing, maybe still because COVID will still be a thing. Uh,
Go
yeah,
say hi to Jess.
we can go say hi to Jess. We can see what happens. Maybe I can convince Andrew to come down here and we can both go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like
Yeah.
either one of us are working right now.
Yeah, and it's still scheduled to be off until February, so we've definitely got some time. I don't think I had too much other news because we've been kind of keeping up to date with everything. Did you have anything else for?
Not at all. I just again want to wish you guys a happy holiday season. I don't know how many videos we're gonna have up next week. I am gonna be kind of busy. Obviously, I have 4 kids. Andrew has a kid. It's Christmas. It's just a busy time of year for all of us. I do want to mention that on midnight on December 23rd, so the morning of Christmas Eve, basically, a Santa tracker will go live on this channel. It will be actually not through NORAD. It'll be Google Santa Tracker on our channel. But I just want to let you guys know that's there. So if you want to tune in and watch it and see where Santa's at, I might try to pop in a couple of times live in the corner or something just to say hi. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for listening. Again, if you like this, please like and subscribe. And Andrew, anything else?
No, I think we got through everything that we wanted to. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, and you're a liar saying that Santa was here. So I'll have to watch the footage and make sure that you are indeed lying, because I'll be really sad if you weren't. But yeah, like Justin was saying, we wish everybody a happy holiday season. Stay safe out there. Hopefully we'll get one more podcast in beforehand, but just in case we don't, we wanted to make sure we got all that out today. So thanks again for tuning in so much, and we will see you next time on Unknown Destination.
See y'all later.